Alright guys, welcome back to a new video on the 1979 or 1980, one of the two, Suzuki Rm125. We saw from last video that the VIN was scratched off, so I can't really look up the year on it. But based on the plastics, it looks like a 1979 to me. So anyway, last video we got this cleaned up, pressure washed, and we got the carburetor cleaned out, which was the worst carburetor I've probably ever cleaned. It was completely gunked with rust, and there was water in it, and it was not good. But now we got it all fixed up. Throttle works now, like it should. And then we got the paint off the plastics, most of it at least. And I put a little bit of the paint stripper on it to let it sit overnight, so that's working. And we also got spark coming out of the stator, but we don't have a CDI. So this is the stator right here. And if you look at the wire right here, it is black and white right there. That actually leads up into the coil right there. And basically what we're missing is a CDI between the two. So this connects into the CDI, and then the CDI connects into the coil. And the right here is the kill switch wire. Right here is the kill switch. So we're just missing the CDI. We actually got a couple parts today in. You know, the bike that I told you guys about, the 250? Well, I ended up getting it from the same guy. He said the guy never showed up to buy it, and I got the 250 for 200 bucks. So that came with the aluminum tank, and it actually came with the parts we needed for the 125. So I don't know why the guy didn't tell me about these parts in the first place, but it came with a seat that we were missing, the Rm125 seat. Obviously it probably needs to be recovered, but this is the correct seat for it. And it said Rm125 on it. I don't know why the guy didn't just give me that with the bike. I don't know if the other guy wanted it or what, but that fits on there like that. These seats are nearly impossible to find, so I'm really lucky he had that. Otherwise we would have been paying probably 300 bucks for that seat. So that completes the bike pretty much, except for the cover right there, which we're still missing. But it came with two CDIs. I'm not sure which one works, but I'm guessing it's this one because the plugs line up with this one. So we can see black and red, black, and then white and black. And this one has the same thing. Red and black, white and black, and black. And then the two up here for the coil are white and blue, and then black and white, or just black. And it's the same up there for the coil. So we're going to test this one out first and see if we get some spark with it. Hopefully we do. It looks to be in pretty good condition, no cracks at the back. So hopefully it didn't get damaged by water or anything from sitting out for so long. And then we also got another one. I believe this one's for the Rm250, which I'll show you guys in a different video, but one of the two has to work on it, I would think. And I'll quick show you guys the stator for the other bike. I'm not going to show you the whole bike because it's going to be another video, but here's the other stator for it. And there's the engine. Missing the carburetor though. Kind of sucks. I robbed the boot off of the coil for the Rm125, so we'll see. We might have to swap out the coil as well. But that's a little sneak peek of the Rm250. It's in pretty rough condition, but we'll talk about that more in a different video. But yeah, so basically all we have to do is hook this thing up. I do want to solder this wire back together, the white and black. Solder that and put some heat shrink on it, and then wrap that up with some tape, because that guy snipped that part of the wire, previous owner. But let's get going. Let's get all this done, hooked up, and see if we get some spark. That's pretty much the last thing we have to do. And then I'm probably going to rob that chain off the bike and put it on here for now to see if we can test drive it. Alright, so these are the wires that need to be soldered on. I'm just going to see what the wires look like coming out of these. I might snip those and get some fresh wire going to them. And we'll hope for the best here. Hopefully we can get some spark here. That's a lot better. That wire looks good. We'll snip this one back as well. Then we'll get a fresh piece of wire to solder on. Alright, there's a fresh piece. Alright, we got the wire. We're just going to twist this and then we'll solder it. So we'll solder that right there like that. Give us a little bit more room to work with here. And then same with this end over here. Twist that up. Putting a very thin layer on so that heat shrink can go over it. A little bit of this. Alright, that's good to go. Then we can taper up and that will be done. Alright, let's clean out these connections a little bit. And then we've got the CDI. We'll connect right into here. And just kind of wiggle it around in there. Make sure it's making a good connection. So you can see black and red match up, black and red, and then white and black, and then just straight black going to here. Alright, then coming up by the coil, we've got black and then white and blue. Well, that's going to connect right into there. Alright, well, it's all connected. So, moment of truth here. Will we have spark? This is it. Let's see what happens. Kick her over, and hopefully we have something. Come on, baby. Oh, yeah. Look at that good spark. That's awesome. That is awesome. Great spark. So that's obviously the correct CDI, I think, hopefully. So, and then the kill switch actually hooks right up into here. So that'll hook up like that into there if we want the kill switch to work. Which I may leave it off for right now because I don't know if the kill switch up here is working properly or not. I don't want it to ground out the whole system. So, I guess let's put a little premix in this thing down the carburetor and see if she fires up. I don't know if we're at the correct time, so it might not fire up, but at least this should be, I'm pretty sure this wire is coming out this way. So we gotta be pretty close to the correct timing. But let's get the spark plug back in. This thing's probably been sitting, I don't know, it looks like it's been sitting for a very, very long time. Who thinks it's gonna start? Write your prediction down below. I'm gonna say maybe it'll pop over and then we'll probably have to adjust the timing. That's my prediction. So the new boot worked too, this thing. So right there, that was worth $200 picking up that bike, because the CDI is right around $100, and then the seat's right around probably close to 200. So got our money's worth out of that. All right, let's get some gas down there, see if she fires up. So it looks like we can mount the CDI right up into here. I'll show you guys where this is. Right here it looks like. So the CDI can go like that. We'll pour a little gas down the tank and see if the petcock works. See if the carburetor leaks here. Looks like we're good so far. Alright, we'll turn it off for now, and then we'll give it the first start. Alright, here we go, first start attempt. the throttle came undone, but it's idling. Alright, well, it started up. That's a start. Oh, it's dripping gas, it looks like. Dripping gas out the overflow. The floats are probably stuck in there. But we gotta get the throttle fixed. That came undone. And it sounds like the pipe might be plugged up a bit. I wonder if there's something in the pipe. We'll take off the silencer and check that out. Well, the throttle cable snapped. Right there. So that sucks. I wonder if the Rm125 has a throttle cable we could use for it. But yeah, it snapped clean off. But we can probably pull it using this thing. Let's see here. Yeah, we'll just use the pliers for now to pull the throttle. See if we can get this thing to run properly. Let's try starting it up one more time. See what happens here. Alright, so it's not really revving out completely. So I'm thinking maybe the pipe is plugged up back here. So we'll take off these plastics, take off the silencer. Alright, the silencer didn't look plugged up or anything. So maybe it's the pipe. Not too sure, something's acting weird on it. Maybe it's got a really bad crank seal or something. Not too sure what's going on. We'll try starting up one more time. See what happens. Still sounds like it's boggy. Idles perfectly. something to do with the timing. Maybe the pipe is plugged up. Alright, so as you guys can hear, it's not revving out all the way. Did start up, does idle perfectly, but it sounds like it has problems just, you know, revving out completely. A couple things it could be the timing right here. So maybe we have to move this plate a little bit, or it could be a seal that's blown inside the engine, or it could be something with the carburetor. But we just cleaned the carburetor, and I just disconnected all these hoses to make sure they're all cleaned out, and everything was. Checked the gas for water in it, that wasn't it. And what else could it be? Yeah, that's basically all it could really be. Maybe a faulty plug. So we'll check the plug, maybe a new plug, and then, yeah, I don't know. Alright, so for timing on this thing, if you look in here, most guys, what they do is set, see that mark right there? Kind of hard to see. Right there, the arrow. That's going to be lined up with a little groove in the side of the stator right there. So that's just the standard timing, and that's pretty much lined up. I mean, it's pretty much spot on. So, really, the timing should be fine on this thing. We are going to, I think, take the pipe off and make sure that's all cleared out. And then if that doesn't work, we're going to drain the oil and make sure there's not too much oil in it. That can sometimes cause a bog. So let's start with the pipe. We'll take that off and see if that's clear. Alright, pipe doesn't feel heavy or anything. Looks clear from in there. Nothing's coming out like oil or anything. Take a look in here quick. Piston looks good up in there. No carbon buildup or anything. Huh. It's very odd. The only thing I can think of is the oil or a crank seal that's gone. Alright, it's still doing the same thing. So let's drain that oil out next. Alright, so we're going to try something. I just installed a different plug into it. Let's see what happens now. Alright, still doing the same thing. So it wasn't the plug. Alright, the oil drain plug is right there. Let's see it through there. Let's get that off. Quite a bit of oil in there. It's a little milky. That's a lot of oil in there for that small engine. So maybe there's too much oil in it. We'll have to see what it recommends for oil. I don't know how much goes in here. I think it should sit right there. It's covered up. So, alright, we got the oil drain. This thing calls for 650 milliliters of oil. And then once we pour that in, we'll measure how much was in it. Measured out exactly. So there was way more than 650 milliliters in there. This whole thing's filled up to the top, so that's over 1,000 milliliters. So about 1.5 times the amount in this thing. Hopefully that was a problem. I'm thinking it probably wasn't, but at least we have the right amount in right now. Alright, new oil change. Let's try this again. Let's see what happens. See if there's an air leak somewhere. Not changing at all. I don't know what's going on with that. Very odd. Alright, we've got the carb apart right here. It looks like we're running a 250 main right here, which is stock. I just looked it up. So that's good. However, I did find out that this little guy right here for the float, that was in upside down, so it's switched around, which is very easy to do. So we're gonna put it back together and hopefully that fixes it. I think that's why it was leaking gas. But yeah, hopefully that fixes it and that prevents the bogging. Probably won't, but it's worth a shot. Everything else in the carburetor looks perfect, so not gonna mess with that. Everything is perfect, so hopefully that is the problem. Alright, let's see what happens. Well, still doing the same problem. It's got to be that crank seal on the right side. Gotta be. I don't know if that requires splitting the case or not. We'll have to check the diagram, but we'll probably have to take off this cover and check that seal out. That's the only thing I can think of, because taking out the pipe didn't help. At least it didn't help much. But the carburetor's fixed. No more leaking gas. So that's one thing fixed. But yeah, it's still really buggy. Alright guys, after a couple more hours of digging into this thing, I cannot find the issue, but I think I may have solved the problem. Every time I look up the 1979 Rm125, we get this picture as a stator for it, and this as a CDI. And these are the ones I didn't have on there. These are the ones I had on here for the CDI. I had this one and this one. And every time I look up Rm250, these pop up. So I'm thinking we were using the wrong CDI and wrong stator for it. Even though I had spark, it just is the wrong CDI for the bike, so it's not going to run right. So it did run, but it just wasn't running right. So I tried to put these on, and we were getting spark out of the stator, but we weren't out of the CDI, so I think the CDI is bad. And I think that's why the guy swapped them over. He thought maybe he could get away with replacing one of the parts and making it run. But I think you need the correct CDI for it to work. So I've heard of heating these up in the oven, and maybe that'll work to fix it. But I think we need to order up a new CDI for it, because we're getting voltage out of these two wires right here, the black and the red and the white, and then the ground is the black and white, which is right here for the ground. So I think that's the issue. I'm going to dig into it some more, see if we can get spark, but until then I don't know if that's it or not. Leave a comment down below what you guys think it is. I'm pretty sure that's the problem, but I'm not 100% sure until I can get a CDI and make some spark. But that'll be next video. I'm gonna look for a CDI, and hopefully that is the problem. But otherwise, we got to hear it start up today, and that was pretty cool, so I'm pretty happy with that. It just needs to run a lot better than it is right now. So a lot more work to do, but we got the seat on, we got it running, and that's a start. So anyway guys, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, stay tuned for next video, and until next time, we are out.